It's a Jordan Blodgett production today. The Old RP Show. And hour 2 is brought to you by Culligan Water. Drink clean, live green, filter your water for a healthier tomorrow. Culligan Water of Regina. Visit CulliganRegina.com. They bring you today's guest appearance. Jared Dumba joining us, our NHL analyst from the famous hockey-playing Dumba family. And Jay Red, it's always a pleasure to meet your acquaintance and talk hockey with you. You still got the Matthews jersey up, eh? You haven't thrown it down on the living room floor yet.
I'm not one of those fans, Roddy. It's been a tough week for Leafs fans, as we all know, and you know what? Oh boy. So you know what? Sometimes we're hardest on ourselves and those we love. And I got to be a little bit hard on the guy I love back here, number 34, Austin Matthews. He's playing good defensively, and a lot of people are pointing that out. Yeah, he is, but he doesn't get paid to play good, to just play good defensively. He gets paid to score goals. In these series, in these big moments, when you're so close and everything's on the line, I don't know how you don't get more up for the games. There's some people speculating injury. If there's injury, okay, fine, you can live with that. But you'd think even with an injury, I mean, we watched Leon Draisaitl with a high ankle sprain scoring goals left and right for the Oilers a couple years ago. I just don't see how – I don't know where Matthews has gone, and it's kind of frustrating because you see what he can do in the regular season. You see him the odd game here and there in the playoffs, but to not be able to bring that every single night just doesn't make sense, especially being a former pro hockey player. I know how easy it is to get up for the playoff games. You don't even have to try. So when you see guys at that stature that are not getting up for the games and not contributing like they can in a situation like this, it's a little bit tough. Maybe I'm being a little hard on him. Maybe he's, like I said, maybe he's injured or something, but they need more out of the big guy if they want to try to get back in this one.
They're saying he's injured, but it's more than just him, obviously. And, belly buttons, everybody has an opinion. And there's a lot of analysts out there, so I can't remember where I saw this. Maybe it was the woman I live with said it. I can't remember. But somebody said that the Leafs aren't built for the playoffs. And look at the Florida Panthers, clearly are, and the Tampa Bay Lightning before them. Do you feel that there's something to that?
Well, the only thing I see with that is in that big four that everybody talks about. I'd even say, big five, you throw in like a Morgan Riley in there. But within that group, when you're getting contributions from the Knives, from other guys, I know McCann hasn't been living up to kind of what he could be as well. There are some other guys as well. But within that big four, in the big games like last night, you got to just put everything behind you. You got to bring it. Absolutely bring it. You got to be throwing everything at the wall. And it seems like in those big games, whenever they have that opportunity, it looks like they're walking on eggshells a little bit. They're playing they're not that they're playing scared, but they're just not playing to their potential. You'd expect at some point in time in your career, on a game like last night, when you got the chance to go up, that you're going to step it up and you're just going to finally get over that hump, but they can't get over the hump. You can kind of see it in their game right now. You can see that they're sitting back a little bit. They're not pressuring like they were in those first couple games, even in the first half of the third game. You could almost see the shift in that third game where they just stopped pressing and stopped playing like they could. And I don't know what the answer is there. I don't think it's personnel. I think it's the guys in that room got to reach down, grab make sure they're still there and say, no more. That's it. This is over. We're going to get through this. Yeah. You got to burst through this wall at some point.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm the one that's saying the series isn't even over yet. So I'll get your take on Game 6 tomorrow night. And if you think that they do extend this thing. But is there any chance, and I'm just throwing this out here because it's Canadian television sports talk where you got to talk about all aspects. Is there any chance they're buckling to the pressure? A la Connor Hellebuck over in Winnipeg, if that's happening. Because that series ain't over yet either, but there's something there that it's clearly mental. That's got to be
100%.
I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah?
Yeah. I agree 100%, Roddy. It's all mental. Like I said, watching that third game, you could see the shift where they stopped going from full on pressure to kind of going, oh, these guys are coming. When you start thinking that way, instead of thinking, okay, we got to keep burying these guys. We're leading on the scoreboard. You know, you can't think, okay, we got to sit back now and protect our lead. You got to think, let's keep drilling them into the ground. And you could see, like I said, when that mentality stopped halfway through that third game. And you're exactly right. In my opinion, it's all mental. It's all, are you listening to the noise? Are you letting the other guys get under your skin? Are you worrying about what the other team's doing instead of what you're doing? And I think that's what's going on. And, coach has a tough job ahead of him to get them over that hump, because it's been happening year after year after year. Now, when you ask, can they win next game? I definitely think they can win next game. I think it's going to depend a lot on what's said in that room and what the guys do together. If the guys get together, have a little chat amongst themselves. If I'm Berube, people are talking about changing lineups and everything like that. I would just say, you know what? I'd walk in that room, tell everybody how much I trust them, tell them that we got this game. There's no doubts we're going to win this game. I believe in you guys. Try and get that belief going and show a little bit of confidence, instead of walking in there and being worried about what Florida is going to bring.
It would be nice to have people believe in you. That's why I love having the analysts on, like yourself, who's been through the hockey wars. And I listened to Bruce Boudreau this morning on NHL radio, and they basically said, Bruce, if you were coaching the Jets, what would your speech be? And it was very similar to what you're just saying. I believe you can do this, that you can win at home. We win at home, guys. Let's just win tonight, and then we'll worry about going to Dallas, right? Like that's what the mentality needs to be. But just one more on Austin Matthews. I've seen the games live here, Jared, and he's not himself. He's not playing as a $15 million per year player. Not even really playing like a captain. So I just wonder, whenever their playoffs are done, whether it's this series next or the one after that Craig Berube doesn't come out and pull a John Cooper and say, oh, by the way, this guy was playing with this guy was playing with this guy was playing with that. Because they can't say it now, right?
Yeah, no, that's when we'll learn who was all injured. And it looks like there could be a couple other guys. If you watch close, it looks like there could be some few guys with some minor things going on. But you give up that information during the playoffs. And even if it's the coach giving it up against the player, that player's coming after you in your room, saying, don't let them know what's injured, because the other team will go right out. If they know your right arm's injured, they're going right after your right arm all night long. So you keep that hush-hush. I wouldn't be surprised to hear. I'm just wondering if it's not something a little more serious than what we're all expecting, just by watching them play.
Wow.
If we find out it's something very minor, that's not gonna look good on them.
Well, again, the guy who's noted as having the greatest shot in the NHL has no goals in round 2. So do the math, people. Yeah. Something's not adding up. What are you thinking of Jet Stars tonight in Winnipeg?
You know what? I think I don't know why. The last couple games haven't really shown us this, but I think the Jets are going to come back and try and get back into this series. We got to see a big game out of Hellebuck at some point in time. If that's going to happen, I would bet it's going to be tonight. But not going to be surprised at all if Dallas gets the win and moves on.
Is this series become too much about Connor Hellebuck, do you think?
I think every year is, when you got a guy who's up for who could easily win the Hart Trophy and the Vezina. That doesn't happen very often when you're that good in the regular season and then you just fall off. I think it's pretty tough to make it about anything else, as much as the coaches and everybody else tries to say, it's everybody. Well, everybody does have a little part in it, but, you're expecting Hellebuck, if he's the Hart Trophy winner for the year, and Vezina winner, you're expecting him to step up and at least win you a couple of games, So I'm not so sure that, if Dallas wins tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hellebuck's games cut next year by about 10 to 15 games. He might just be. It almost looks like he's wearing out a little bit at this point of the season. It's not like the old days. The games are a little quicker.
Yeah, Jared, you and I have been friends since you've been 9 years old. What year were you born in? 79? No, 80? 81?
79.
What year were you born in? Yeah, 79. So I'm 7 years older than you. Right. So I was 16, you were 9 when we first met. Just so everybody knows, because we have viewers writing in. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, great analysis. Jared, Scott in Vancouver says the same thing. So you and I have been friends for a long time. We see things the same way. We're also ahead of everybody. Have you noticed, Jared? We're so far ahead, people think we're behind. And so now I'm sitting here going, Sergei Bobrovsky is the greatest goalie in the world. And we're seeing it in money time. Get out of here with Hellebuck and all these other guys. Bob is all that. And I had to wait until now for him to prove it. Now, the gentlemen are watching in BC, and it's a good segue to the Canucks hiring Adam Foote as the head coach. I'm going to be honest. Didn't see that one coming. And what do you think about the word that Quinn Hughes, he's the one Quinn Hughes wanted, so they hired him. Bruce Boudreau says he doesn't believe that. I heard that this morning, but your take on the Canucks and Adam Foote.
Well, you know what? Good to get, obviously, a great player when he played. Good to get a good hockey guy in that system. I have heard the Quinn Hughes stuff. Who knows? That's pure speculation, or if that's true or not. But yeah, you know what? They need some fresh blood in there now. Since Tocchet didn't want to go back, as we know now, Tocchet's with the Flyers now. Who saw that coming? I think everybody. But as for the Canucks, good to get a great coach. All you've heard is great things about him. Players are probably going to like him. Good for a guy like Quinn Hughes to have a defenseman like that to, help him work on his defensive game. Not that he needs much work on any part of his game, but yeah, I think I think that's a great hiring for Vancouver. It's good to get some fresh blood in there.
So those are the two. Quenneville in Anaheim, Ken Holland in LA. Score one for the old guys. Q is 66, Holland 69. They're saying Lou Lamoriello to the Sabres at age 82. What's the message here, Jared?
Well, the old boys know what they're doing. I can tell you that. I was nobody was more excited than I was when Holland was going to the Kings. It's going to be real interesting to see what Holland does, because Holland, he usually goes in somewhere. It's usually a reclamation project of sorts. He usually takes his time, but LA is a little bit closer than the other teams that he's joined. So he might go in there guns ablaze and making, having some signings and, making some trades right away. If he thinks anything needs to be shaken up, that's a real big signing. Now the Lou Lamoriello thing, how long is he's gonna just try and work till he's gone, isn't he? Till he dies. I don't think he can ever get out of the game. He seems like that type of guy. If he gets on, good for him. And you know what? Buffalo might need something like that. They need, who knows what Buffalo needs.
My dad worked in the NHL till he was 78. And he's like a lot of these guys, to be honest, they kept giving him contracts. I think he probably would have walked away, but they wouldn't let him. So maybe that's what's happening with Holland. Maybe the Kings called Holland. They probably did, if they're not dumb. So, yeah, I think that's about all I have, other than I should ask you about Vegas just wilting up and going away in 5. I was shocked. Were you?
I was absolutely stunned. I did not see that coming. Obviously with your captain out, he's your captain, your leading goal scorer. That never helps any team. So that was a big one for them. But still, I didn't see them wilting like that. Like Edmonton, I don't know. Is Edmonton that good? We're going to see next round. Is Edmonton that good, or did they wilt that bad? So it'll be interesting to see next round. I can't wait to see Edmonton and if they're if Echo can get back playing, full force, we'll see what goes on there. But man, it's interesting. This is the best time of the year, isn't it, Roddy? I can't wait. I'm already looking forward to the next series. These series aren't even done.
Exactly. All right, Jared. Thanks for the time. Appreciate you. Keep in touch.
Thanks, brother. Chat soon.
Our NHL analyst from the famous hockey-playing Dumba family. And the viewers are telling me they really like Jared's analysis. Well, we don't let Rudy Poos on the air here. No Rudy Poos on the air, as we quote John Frenzy. We'll be back with a sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way with some real fun topics today. We're live on Game Plus Television, streaming live and podcasting wherever you enjoy your podcasts.